we've gone ahead and combined them into one. It's a two-part question. We're going to start with Toby. The question is, Elgin has a very diverse population. How can we leverage this as an opportunity to attract businesses and residents? And the second part is, how does illegal immigration affect attracting these businesses and residents who invest in Elgin?
Can you repeat that last part again?
How does illegal immigration affect attracting businesses and residents who invest in Elgin?
So I think one of the portions of the question was bringing how to deal with businesses coming in. And one of the things I think is important is that when businesses come to Elgin, they know what to expect, what incentives they're going to receive, what incentives they're not going to receive, and that it be fair and adequate across all people that come to Elgin. And I think that in the past it's not been as transparent. I think it's been more of a who you know instead of what kind of business you are and what you bring to the table. When businesses do come to Elgin, I think they do look at illegal immigration. Some, depending on the type of business, turn a blind eye towards it, and others don't. I think I would recommend and propose that for all businesses that are receiving city contracts, do use the E-Verify system, that if they're getting money from our government for contracts, that those employees are actually legal citizens fulfilling the services for that contract.
Thanks, Toby.
Long question.
Yeah. I think that our diversity is a huge strength of this community. It was one of the many factors that attracted us to Elgin when my husband and I were looking for a place to live. We wanted to live in a community that was vibrant, tolerant, open to people from all walks of life and from all over the world. And so I think diversity is a huge strength in attracting new families here to Elgin, people who want to live in a vibrant, interesting, culturally, ethnically diverse place, and in turn will attract businesses who want to employ those people who want to live in a vibrant, culturally diverse place. If you look at the future, young people and creative people want to live somewhere that's interesting, it's not homogenous, and companies who are working in the creative industries want to employ those people. So I think that's a huge strength that we have moving forward. And I think it's something we should be very proud of.
Well, echo what Anna's saying and take that further. As a councilman, I've worked on hosting and presenting to many different companies in Elgin, including a group of 16 German-based companies. We've discovered that there's for some reason, a large concentration of them locally. We're trying to get them to work together to strengthen their ties to our community and to each other so that they can feel comfortable in town and also lure more companies here. In addition to those 16 German-based companies, we have a total of 33 at least foreign-based companies. So I think our diversity attracts them. I think they are comfortable being here given the diversity in town. Again, going back to an earlier answer that I gave, the jobs that they are creating, that these companies are bringing to town, are a partial victory, but they'll be a complete victory when we have workers locally that are trained and ready to take those jobs. These are high-paying jobs. Sorry.
It's hard to answer this in a minute, but gaining on a couple of the other comments, talking some bullet points, I think our diversity makes us strong. I think that U46 has dozens and dozens of languages that they deal with from all the different nationalities that call Elgin their home, and I think it's a huge asset for us. Is illegal immigration wrong? Obviously, yes. I mean, it's a monumental problem. Is there things that the city of Elgin can do to help make it not easy for illegals to be here? Yes. Are we doing that? Yes. Since being on the council the last 2 years, as far as I know, we haven't audited any more companies in the last than the last 2 years. 6 or 7 companies that do business for the city of Elgin have been audited to ensure that they're employing legal citizens. I think the key for what businesses want to have located here is an educated workforce, and no business that I know of wants to hire illegal aliens or immigrants.
I believe the first part of the question was, how do we attract business here with incentives? We can rescind the business license. I don't think that we need to have the business license. We can give businesses a break on permit fees, connection fees, like laying down pipes for water, things like that. There's other things that we can look at. Does illegal immigration affect some businesses, I believe was the second part of the question. I'm sure it does, but I think that also the businesses and corporations take a close look at the median income of the housing. All of this is changing in Elgin. We're making some strides towards this. It's not going to take one election. It's going to take more. We need the right people on the council to keep working on this. If we get the wrong people on the council, as much that's come up that's changed, it can go backwards just as quick.
Our diversity actually probably helps us with attracting businesses, because obviously not all businesses are going to be the high-paying, high-skilled jobs. There are going to be businesses that just need, in the very, the low-skilled worker, and in the very end, those low-skilled workers still need jobs. Not everyone is going to be making, 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour. I remember my graduating class at Elgin High. Our freshman class was over 900 students. Our graduating class was like below 700. So all those kids dropped out, and all those kids are now adults like me that are probably still a low skilled worker, and they all want a life, and attracting businesses should be every business, not just one type of industry, the high paying jobs, and just leave the rest of the Elgin citizens down at the wayside because it's not a high paying job. We don't care about you.
To address the first question in terms of how can we leverage our diversity in bringing residents and businesses to Elgin, I think we have to look at communities that are very diverse and are very successful in bringing and attracting residents. Some that come to mind in the Chicago area are Oak Park and Evanston, that are very popular communities, and one of the attractions to of those communities is the fact that they are diverse ethnically, culturally, in terms of their housing. There's a lot of different areas to look at in terms of diversity. So I think Elgin has a lot to offer in that area, and we just need to find a better way of marketing ourselves. The second issue is, how does illegal immigration affect businesses coming to Elgin? I don't really think that's necessarily a big issue. Someone mentioned earlier about using E-Verify. Legally, the city cannot require a business that they are doing business with to use E-Verify. They cannot do that legally. So what the city does do is, as I think Councilman Stephan mentioned, businesses that do business with the city of Elgin are required to sign a statement saying that their employees are legally eligible to work in the United States, and the city does audit those. So that is one way to control that issue.
Be hard-pressed to find a community that's been more successful in the last few years in attracting new businesses and jobs to the community than Elgin. And part of that, one of the factors in that success has been our diversity. As Councilman Stephan mentioned, the 33 foreign companies that now call Elgin home have all cited our diversity as one of the factors that put Elgin on their list of communities that they would consider. And as Ms. Moeller mentioned, creative industries tend to locate in more diverse communities. So those are all positive. Our diversity is a positive factor in our attempt to attract new businesses and jobs. As regards to illegal immigration, as has been mentioned, every development agreement that the city signs with any business that has received an incentive from us includes that they must verify that their employees are here legally. If not, if they receive an incentive and we do an audit, as has been mentioned, and we discover some of the employees are illegal, we can sue them civilly to recover our incentives. But that is, we have not had cause or reason to do that, and the system's working well.
The diversity of our community does attract businesses. They see our community as something that's a welcoming community. We do have many people here from foreign countries. I just went to the opening of the technology center downtown, a not-for-profit organization run by a Norwegian gentleman, and he's talking about bringing people from all over the country into Elgin as small businesses, and many of them are foreign-born, and I think that's a positive. The illegal immigration portion of the question, we have a right as a community to ask that if we waive fees or we provide an incentive, that we want people to be here legally. The city of Elgin itself, we screen all our own employees, and we would expect anybody that uses our funds to improve their business act the same way that we do and follow the rules that the city of Elgin uses for our employees.
Generally speaking, I don't think we're going to micromanage Elgin into prosperity. I don't believe in the use of business incentives and economic development incentives. I think if we keep a low property tax and keep low permit fees and we take our hands off of things, we're going to do a much better job. The City Council has taken in this idea of one Elgin. They want to treat every business and every resident the same. However, they continue to try to micromanage things. They use our tax dollars to provide incentives to some companies and not others. And this is about as opposed to a concept of one Elgin as you can get. I believe by keeping taxes and fees low, a company will benefit throughout its lifetime here rather than just in the first couple of years. Not to mention, if we're keeping our taxes where they are and we have to provide an incentive for companies to get here, that incentive has to be better in the first couple of years than what they would get through a lifetime of low taxes.
I like diversity. It's great. I grew up on the South Side. I keep mentioning that. And there were Polish communities, there were Italian communities, there were black communities, there were Chinese communities. And we enjoyed their culture, their food. And the more you got to know them, the more you could understand them. It is a draw, but we have another problem with that draw. And that draw is that outside the city of Elgin, we're viewed as a sanctuary city. It's a welcome mat for illegals to come. And if you've been reading the paper, we've just become the minority. The whites have become the minority. The Hispanics have become the majority. And that's because this is a sanctuary city. I have a lot of notes here, so I'm going to go as quickly as I can. Great, we're auditing companies that come here for not hiring illegals, but what about companies that are already here? What about the lawn care people, the roofing people, all these other people? We're talking thousands and thousands of people that are possible illegals that could possibly also open up jobs for our high school, college, and people that are underemployed. I'd go on, but it's just, I don't have enough time. Wait, want the mic?
Yeah, thank you. We're going wireless next year. We're going wireless.
4 years. Okay, first of all, we're very proud to have a diverse community here. People from all walks of life come here, but we got to keep them here. That's the problem. We got governors in Wisconsin and Jersey trying to bring the business away. Illinois does. The governor of Illinois does us no good raising that corporate income tax 9.1. We got to keep our streets clean, get the graffiti wiped off the streets. People that move here and see these gang symbols, they don't want to stay around with this. We got to clean the city up. It's making Elgin a beautiful city, site-wise. They want to stay in the communities where you can be proud and raise your children. But at the same time, we can't chase business away by all these permits and fines and fees and surcharges we have. Because Wisconsin wants our business, New Jersey wants our business, Iowa wants our business. How do we keep our business here? And this is what we have to work on. Once you're here, we got to keep you here. And other states want our business.
Okay. We made it all the way around, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. We're just a couple minutes before 9 o'clock, but if everyone's amenable, we're going to ask one more full 1-minute question and then do like a little lightning round of some quick hits, 30 seconds for 3 or 4 issues, because we've got quite a pile here. So if everyone's amenable? Excellent.